new for them for the information of those participants. This is free science dialogue series, free webinar series. So, as you all know, more than 100 lectures has been organized under this science dialogue series, and all are very renowned, reputed resource persons have delivered lecture who are from different premier institute. In this series, today's lecture is, you know, that research and grant management, which will be delivered by Dr. Gajanan sir, who is a grant manager at IIT Gandhinagar. And before joining at IIT Gandhinagar, he has experience of working in different institutes, including his PhD from DRDO. As you all know, that DRDO is also a very reputed institute. And I'm thankful to him because he himself very eager to deliver a lecture on this very important topic. And this topic is important for all the faculties, scientists, because they are very expert in their domain, but sometimes they are not very familiar with how to manage the grant and how to manage the money. So this topic is very pertinent to all the faculties and resource person who are actively engaged in the research and grant taking grant from different funding agencies. So I welcome Gajanan sir in the science dialogue series, and we are really grateful that you are ready to deliver lecture.
Yes.
So now platform is open for your Miss Dias is yours now. Yes.
So, thank you, Gopal sir, for this opportunity, and I will welcome all the participants for this lecture series. Uh, I don't know, because uh, most of the people are not aware about this grants management and research management, but we are planning to we are planning to make the research scholars aware about these things. So will, as Gopal sir has introduced about my brief. uh,
I
uh,
request other participants to mute your mic.
yes.
Continue,
So
sir.
I will talk about the grants management majorly, rather than talking about the research management, because research management majorly driven by the PI, and grants management majorly driven by the research managers or the grants manager. So in our country, we consider it as, or we talk it as a grants management or a grants manager. But if you look at the other countries, they synonyms they use as a grants administrator. So grants administrator and grants manager are one of the same. So currently I am working as a grants manager at IIT Gandhinagar. So why grants management is important? What is the requirement of grants management in science? So the major thing for the requirement of the grants management or grants administration office is that strengthening the institutional capacity in grants and research management, and to enhance the research excellence through an effective support system. So every PI try to contribute at the maximum to the projects or to the science, but if they get the supporting effective support system, they may work better for the society, for the institution, or for the country. So what exactly research and grants management is? So it's just broadly referred as the managing the resources and managing the funds. This is the basic funda of the grants management. So definition wise, if you go the management of research funds and research facility, it categorizes in the different domains or categories, that maybe one is called as pre-award and other is called as post-award. Simply we'll go detail in the subsequent slides, but for just here for brief, pre-awards means we are doing the processes from the grants which are before the award of the grant. And post award, once we got the award of the grant, then whatever the processes followed after that, subsequent processes followed after the award of the grant, that all the processes are considered the post award processes. So the grants management office is important for the compliance and reporting of the documents. That may be administrative document, that may be the scientific document, that may be the budgetary or financial document, any other document related to the grants are be part of the grants and research management office. So as a grants management office, its major role to achieve the institutional goals. So here we consider across the community, we consider that the success of the organization is equal to the success of the grants manager. So what challenges we face at the institution level for the management of grants? So being the part of the DBT Welcome Trust India Alliance Research Management Fellow, we studied the different organizations, we studied different universities for the research management or administration processes, and what the challenges they have faced, or what the currently they are facing the challenges for this managing the grants. So they are specifically to the limited administrative capacity. Every other organization says that they have a limited capacity for the administrative things and manpower or workforce. Then again, complex regulatory requirements, because every funding agency asks for the different things. They have the different regulatory requirements or compliance as per the grant call, as per the funding agency. So for that, we have to take care for the both the things, regulatory requirements as well as the compliance of the grant as per the funding agency. So for that also we need to have some specialized person on that, and most of the organizations are not getting it. Even uh, because training is not there in our country, we are very less organizations who are training for this grants management. We don't have academic courses in that senses in the direction of the grants manager. So we are facing these challenges. Again, the fragmented system, or there are communication gaps between the scientific domain and the administrative domain of the organizations. These are also some of the major challenges we are facing at the current stage in the country for the research management. So talking about the building the institutional capacities for the grants management, so we basically invest in skilled personalities. We have to develop the skills in the person for the grants management. Again, we have to work on the standard operating procedures for the grants, that may be funding agency wise, that may be call wise or grant call wise. So we can say that development of SOCs for specific calls or specific grants or a specific funding agency, and implementing a research management system. This is very crucial part of the research management office, as once we implement the system and every other person in the organizations is aware about this system, then it will save over time and it will give the quick results for the generation of the document, for the submission of the proposals, or any other thing which is associated with the research part or the administrative part of the grant. And it's a continuous process, it's continuous process for professional development and training. So these are the key factors of the building the institutional capacity for the grants management. So if you have any question, you can interrupt in between, or you can ask at the later at the end of the presentation as well. You can keep a note of your questions and we can discuss our questions at the Q&A session. Yeah, thank you. So if you consider these achieving the goals of the organization said above in the building capacity of the organization, so we can use the technology for the research management. So in what way we can use the systems or technology for the grants management office? That grant tracking and management softwares. There are multiple softwares in the market, especially some ERPs are there, enterprise resource planning softwares. By that we can have a track of grants for the, especially for the budgetary things, or maybe some report submission or administrative deadlines. Again, data management. If you look at the a single PI project, the data will not be much. But if you look at the multi-institutional project or multi-organizational project, in that case we have a huge data. You can consider the last project during the COVID, that INSACOP. So it involves multiple organizations, and data created is hundreds and hundreds or thousands GB files. So managing that data is also important. So research management office, in terms of technology, technology plays a crucial role in the managing these kind of high inputs or high data, like gene bank data, something like that. So digital compliance tools are also available where we can uh, merge this data or deposit our data in the domains or specific databases, where we can have a data together across the organization or across the countries. Again, this will enhance our collaboration and transparency. Once we deposit the data to the portal or to the any database, it will be available throughout our organizations involved in the research projects. So it will give the transparency on, in terms of, if we are providing the transparency, then automatically it will enhance your collaborative potential. And for bigger grants or multinational grants, collaborative potential is much important. So we will talk about now what is the research management office and how it works. So if you look at the middle row, white colored, it will show the path by the research office followed by the research office. There are some cartoons working on the laboratories, so in the documents. So what research office do? Research office is the just link between scientists, researcher, or scholars and all other administrative documents departments of the organization. So this is the key of the research management office. So it is linking, or it is a link between the scientist and the administrative office of the organization. That may include the finance and account, that may be include the store and purchase department, or may include the other service sections or any other department in the organizations. So how this support system works in the life cycle of the project, when we are submitting any grant or when we are planning for any grant for funding. So it is categorized in four different categories. First is pre-award. So in pre-award, we'll go in detail in the subsequent slides, but here is an overview. So for pre-award process, we will find the funding agency or funding opportunity, what calls are available, which calls are suitable for us. We will submit the application against that. We'll check the status of the review. Then it comes to the next stage, the during the award process. It may like call for the presentation for the PI. It may negotiate the terms and condition. It may negotiate the depend in the budget things. Budget is higher, lower, or optimize the contacts for this project. And then once it is sanctioned, it go to the next level of the project, named as the post award process. So post award process is called as, one is called as implementation, and next last stage is closeout. So during the implementation, it is first stage is called as grants activation. Normally when any award we receive the award, we have to activate that grant. So it has a some set of documents to be submitted to the funding agency to activate our grant and to receive the money. So that falls under the implementation category. So and the during the, then depending on the project tenure, it may be 3 years, 2 years, or 5 years, or long term project. So at the at each year financial year, we have to submit the documents for financial or progress report, everything, and that can be coordinated by the research office or research management office. And then once the project is completed, we have to submit the closeout documents for the project. That may be financial settlements, any pending money with organization, we have to send back to the funding agency. We have extra expenditure, we have to settle that. And every other, the deliverables of the project, we have to submit the things have been delivered, and any other societal impact, or the how the project outcome useful for the society or the country, how it is benefiting. So in that sense, it is a closeout document. So major services provided by the research management office includes these following: include coordination between the scientists and administrative department advisors, providing the new grant opportunities to the scientists and PI, providing the networking opportunities to the scientists, scholars, and the students. Support for the complete project life cycle, meaning start from the proposal submission to the closure of the project. There are many ministerial reports based on the projects we have to submit bi-monthly or 6 monthly or annually. We have to work on that also, and we support for the ministerial report preparation and submission to the ministries, different ministries, maybe your associated organization ministry or any other ministry of the government of India. Whenever they are asked for the reports, we have to submit the report. Again, research management office works for the monthly and annual reports of the organizations, then works for the fellowships for the students. Fellowship here I mean to say sponsored fellowship, which are after PhD or post PhD fellowships. Then we support for the grant writing seminars and workshop at the organization level or the country level. Skill development programs for students, we can operate at from the research management office to how to train the manpower or work for the management of the grants or research management. So when we talk about the pre-award processes, so pre-award processes include the funding agencies, research schemes, grants opportunities, assistance in proposal writing and development, especially helps for the budget compilation, then proposal submission, and any other academic industry or partnership or the collaboration or the endorsement from the any other organizations, we can be supported for the from the grant office in the pre-award sections. So when we talk about the post award section, it includes the budget allocation as per the sanction by the funding agency. It also involves the coordination between the stakeholders, because in multi-institutional project there are multiple institutes and multiple PAs or co-PAs are involved. So we have to coordinate between all the stakeholders who are associated with the projects or the project. Then support for the complete project life cycle, progress report generation or report generation in terms of administrative documents, report generation and compilation or submission to the funding agencies, that documents. Also again it talk about the memorandum of agreement and memorandum of understanding with the funding agency and collaborating organizations. So these includes again approvals and permission from funding agency time to time. Whenever required, we have to approach the funding agency and seek for the approval and get the approvals done, so can be project can be effectively implemented. So again we talk about the industry academic partnership or the collaboration. Again, the resources management and contracts is a major thing handled by the research office uh, during the post award processes, and at the end stage we can just look for the project closure documents. So among these things, these are very crucial things, and the major what we can say, the base of the research management office is to uh, scientists to have scientists to get more time on their scientific part rather than focusing on the administrative documents. So if you scientists are getting relief from the generation of the administrative document, definitely they will focus on their scientific part more, and to achieve the best research grants, and automatically the success rate will get high. So exactly what we do in the pre-award and post-award grant processes in collaborative grants, or we can say multi-institutional or multi-organizational grants. So these processes include the grants calls, maybe sharing with the lead PAs or lead organizations, then grant requirement collaboration, collation, and sharing the data or making the presentation to the PAs or co-PAs involved in the grant. Then communication with the funding agency and the collaborating institution for this compilation of all the grant document required. Collation of information from the collaborating institution that may be associated with the details of the PAs, their previous grant, their qualifications, and everything, which includes the biodata in the form of biodata. Generation of administrative document, like supporting documents like MOA, MOUs between the organizations, then budget preparation, and make everything a set ready for the submission of the documents while submitting our proposal to the funding agency. Again, the post award involves the grant activation requirements, communication with the funding agency and the collaborating institutes, generation of the administrative documents. Maybe we can ask during the post award revisions may be asked by the funding agency in the documents or then the generated administrative documents. So we can be dealing with that also. And again, we will provide the ready to submit documents to the PS, so they can upload in their portal or to the funding agency, or we can send them directly to the funding agency. So again, the major responsibility at the institution research management office is that, uh, because it is purely depend on the organization. It is academic organization or purely research organization. When there is a academic organizations where we have a students, we have to be responsible for the students fellowship as well, for their grants. So there are specific grants. I have enlisted some of a few of the grants of Indian ecosystem. So the students get the information, and the postdoctoral or any other research in the organization will get the information about the recent calls and the fellowships available, open available, or for the funding. They can approach the funding agency or the research monopolist for the compilation of these documents and submit their grants to the funding agency within a stipulated time. So this is our strategy at IIT, that how we increase the visibility and attraction of more sponsored fellowship at the organizations. So one can maybe many other organizations may be following this pattern, uh, but at IIT we normally follow this path, that we normally we share the request for the availability of the specific positions to the faculty. Then faculty will respond to that inquiry, and based on that we collate the responses, and we make a flyers for, and we place in the social media pages. So the students or the fellows who are looking for such kind of sponsored fellowship, they can approach our faculties based on their requirements, and they can file or submit their grant application by as a sponsored fellow at IIT Gandhinagar. So other organizations also may follow the same, or they are maybe already following this thing. So these are the strategy we are following it for the increase the visibility of the fellowships. So, and again, this information to be disseminated to the uh, required fellows or faculties or the students, this is also more important, and we'll do it through the social media networks, including the Twitter, LinkedIn, maybe Facebook, or any other social media. Especially we'll focus on the emails specifically, but other also social media also we are utilizing as a platform to share this opportunity to our stakeholders. So it includes the grants, awards, fellowship, even the conferences and training workshops also. So like at institutional level, we have email communications. At internal TV displays also will put the informations, and again at institutional social media handles we disseminate this information as well. So at grant office, why record maintenance is important? As we say that we always produce a document for the funding agency or for the PI. So what documents we exactly maintain and why it is required? So we always maintain the record of financial documents against the submitted grants, any other grant which is routed through the grants office, administrative documents in support of that particular grant, and scientific report as well. So why it is required? Because suppose this year we have closed one scientific project to a particular funding agency, and in next 2 3 years you are not willing to apply, or you don't have any plan to apply for the funding to that funding agency. But after 3 year or 4 year, you are just the call has raised and you are interested in that call. So at that time, funding agency will ask whether you have closed all the previous project or not. If you are not closed, they will not ask us, they will not allow us to apply for that grant. So this is the crucial part, and why the we maintain the record at the, grants office. So sometime if required, at that stage also we can submit and close the project that may be related to the financial, administrative, or any scientific document. So again, it is required at the institution level file financial audits, or funding agency to release the grant money, or for the generation of the ministerial report or institutional report, including the annual report or magazines of the organization, something like that. So we can use the data for the generation of the required documents or required reports. So, and the purpose of the research management office is always to maintain the exhaustive database, which is useful for the PAs and the students or the researchers at the organization. And it also involves the continuous engagement with the funding agency through seminars, meetings, workshops, or any other way to update our scholars or faculty and the students on the upcoming grants opportunities or the compliance documents of the grants or the requirements of the grant in the same. So normally we at our IIT we have a practice of sending the weekly emails every Monday to the faculties on their on the new grants opportunities for available from the different funding agencies across the globe, and so they can if they are interested they can apply for these grants. So again, we always attend the guideline meetings with the funding agency, and we'll try to uh, convey these kind of messages to our faculties and involved collaborative experts in the projects or the domains. So uh, in the sense somewhere we feel that the research management office are very important for the early career faculties, because senior faculties are well known with the grants uh, system or the ecosystem. But when new faculty comes into picture, the early career faculties are uh, join the organizations, they need a major support for such kind of things like administrative documents or the documents generated by the organization at the organization level for the funding agency against a particular call or a grant. So it supports the setting up the labs also. So and manpower appointment in the lab. It also shares the collaborative potential of the organizations to the nearby organization or geographical area, so that they can collaborate more and contribute to the more to the organization as a society. So how these research management offices or the research managers helping them in terms of speed, accuracy, accountability, transparency, and preparing the standard operating procedures for the grants. So these are the 5 parameters which helps the early career, especially early career faculties, to grow their laboratories at the early stage of their career. Definitely, these are helping to the senior faculties as well efficiently. But if you talk about the early career fellows, it will be much helpful. So other than these previously discussed services or the support provided by the research management office, these are the bunch of the facilities RDO or research management office can provide in terms of uh, tech shows, exchange programs at international level, then maybe awareness programs, maybe approvals and permissions from the funding agencies or the ministries. Especially important when we are showcasing our research to the broader audience at the national and international level, that can be handled by the RDO. Then portfolio management at the organization level. These are various SMFCs taken care by the RDOs or research management office based on the institutional requirements at various capacities. So I think I'm done with the presentation, and now the session is open for the question answer. If we have
Good,
a
good,
queries,
good.
I will be happy to answer them.